before and after. Why does the after look good? Because it's full, the hair is fluffy and standing up. There's one product that I think everybody needs, and I'm going to show you not only what that is and how to properly use that product. So stick around and I'm going to show you how to do that. Hey everybody, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. Thank you so much for joining me. Clearly you don't have to be on this channel. So much going on this weekend. But you're here, and I thank you for being here. We all need sometimes a little bit of distraction, right? And even though a brow lesson can be a little distraction, we still need it, right? You might still have to go to a wedding that's coming up or some sort of birthday party, right? And you may not be that kind of person that does a lot of makeup, but you do need the brows to be a little bit better, so that way you'll feel like you're put together. So that's why I'm here. I have been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years. I'm still at the Anastasia salon in Beverly Hills. So if you're ever in the neighborhood and you need your brows shaped, you need a proper color to be picked for you and showing you how to fill in your eyebrows, definitely come by. We have great makeup artists. I'm there. We have great artists there to shape the best brow for you. So thank you, and definitely stop by. So without further ado, let's get to the model and show you the product that everyone needs to have, including men, by the way. Beautiful eyebrows, and it's going to look even fuller because up in the front the hair is laying down. So if you raise the hair up, it does give that fuller look, which is why I'm going to focus above the front area and down below. Below is to just add a little bit of fullness. Up above is to add that fluffy, modern, fresh look. Okay, so a lot of us have a bit more hair up in the front than you might think. So I'm going to show you how to bring that to life. But those are the two main areas. If you have this type of eyebrow, focus on these two areas. You'd be surprised how much brow you can get. So first, after the brows have been shaped, I always use a concealer stick. This is a Pro Pencil eyeshadow base. So you can use it all over your eyelid for prepping for eyeshadow. But it comes 1, 2, and 3. She has the 1, I'm using the 2. The 3 is for darker skin. If you apply it underneath the eyebrows, look at that little gap. That's why I'm showing you these little white lines. Down below here, if you apply it just enough, as you can see me doing this, you could already see compared to this side how much lighter this is. It serves as a guideline. It also acts as a protectant because I'm using the Volumizing Tinted Brow Gel. This is a product I believe everyone should have, including men, because this can cover grays. It makes the hairs look fuller, darker, because it applies some product, some fiber. Look at the bristle. The longest side is what I'm going to use. Has a short side and long side. And look at this. I'm barely touching her eyebrows, but just enough to catch the hair and going straight up. I'm doing her her left brow, I think. I'm right-handed, so you can see I don't have much hair. I have an old brow tattoo, so we're just going to pretend we have some hair. I actually do have hair right up in the front, and you can see, compared to the other side on me, that I do have some hair up in the front. If you don't have that much, you'd be surprised how much this can grab. It could darken some hair fuzz, so keep that in mind. Here I'm going in reverse. I always go in reverse when I'm using a tinted gel in the middle to the end. That way it gets a little darker. It catches the hair better. And I'm also purposely going down below here. Remember, you have that Pro Pencil down below, so it's protecting the skin to get too messy. But just by doing this, you really get a lot of that color. Now you can see how dark my brows can get. And as you can see right here, I'm using a clean spoolie brush. If you use a clean spoolie brush, it spreads out the product because the gel can get dark or too much. But I'm using a dark color just so that you can see the difference. I'm using ebony, actually, by the way. On the client, I am using a soft brown. You can use soft brown, which is one of my favorites in a volumizing tinted gel. Taupe is also good if you're really blonde. For men, soft brown, medium brown, or ebony. So here's the other important thing. Once you've applied this gel and you're like, oh, it's a little messy, but you know, you still got this, another secret weapon. If you apply this above, aside from just down below, you really help it to stay nice and clean. Okay, so I'm not going to do it too much here, so that way you can see the difference. The brush 18 is everything aside from the tinted gel. It really helps finish the shape. if you apply this on the skin and just lay it down, you're cleaning up the gel, you're giving a better shape to your eyebrows, and you're really controlling how full or thinner you should go. So that's why I really like this brush. I use this for a concealer in other areas of the face, so this comes in very, very handy. So I think everyone should have this, aside from the gel. So, you might want to wonder, you might wonder, you're wondering, how do I get it even more natural? This is the best way to do this, right? That's why I love this gel. Grab a little brush, an angle brush. I'm using brush 14. I'm getting the color off the brush. You could also put some of the color on the hand. I'm going to add a little bit of hair strokes on the eyebrows. So this is something that you can add if you have a large gap. If you don't want a lot of products, that's why I'm keeping it very simple. There's not that many products today, but there's a few steps. This is optional. You don't have to do this. But look at this. See that open gap area? If I grab a little of that product and just put a little bit of lines inside that area and up in the front, look how much difference it can make, especially if you don't have much hair. See this area right here? I'm going right in that area where the highlighter and the open gap is. And then up in the front, I'm adding a little bit of dimension, because say the hair is sticking up, but there's a large gap. This is a great way to just fill in that gap. Say that you want it even fuller up in the front because you really like that look, right? That's why this comes in handy as well. So this is an option that I think everyone should try. You have nothing to lose, but maybe some extra hairs to gain. The illusion, that is. Just right up in the front, clean anything you need to. But look again, up in the top front and down at the bottom, right? Remember this. And then what I want you to see is the after. Beautiful, beautiful difference, right? And I know you guys can do this. You don't have to be a perfectionist. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I meant to say. It doesn't have to be perfect. But the most important thing to remember is the front is full up. And then down below here is filled in. Because when you don't fill in the middle, lower end here, it just ends up looking too round. If you fill this lower front area, then it just has more of a fuller, more modern look. This is really good for anybody. People that want straight brows, people have a flatter or a monolid like myself, three-dimensional, especially if your brow bone is low. This really lifts up your brows, kind of giving you like a little bit of a brow lift. Without the cost, without the pain, without the big commitment, right? So now you know that this is for everybody. And I hope that I've distracted you just a little bit from the craziness in the world right now, right? And I hope I gave you guys some tips for the wedding, for the special occasion. This does not have to be every day, but maybe you have a cluster of white hair. Maybe a lot of your hair is graying. This is something that everyone can use, including men, because it's so easy, guys. And we have a lot of colors to match just perfectly for you. So that's why I think everyone should have one of these. And that's why I think you should try it on your husband. Please tell me if you like this product, if you're thinking about trying it out. And if you're not subscribing, this is a good time to subscribe, right? So please click that subscribe button. And oh, real quickly, I did mention about lamination. I get asked this all the time by my clients. What is it, or do you recommend it? Lamination is not something we do at the salon. It's beautiful. What it is it, especially for those of you that have wavy hair or curly hair, it makes the hair stand up. Or for those of you that have hair growing down, it's pastes the hair up. It's a chemical way of doing that. So keep that in mind. For those of you that are losing brow hair, don't want to lose hair, it can weaken the hair follicle. It's just like if you were straightening your curly hair, your head of hair, that is. So, and this area is much more sensitive, of course, but it is beautiful. If you go to the right person, I don't know anyone that does lamination, but it's a great way for a special occasion. Keep in mind that if you permanently straighten out a hair, the new growth is wavy. So you could have like kind of a weird look at that time, which is why some people go back and do it and go back and do it. So that's something to also keep in mind, because it's something that can weaken the hair. Okay, so this is just a word of caution. It can be beautiful, and excuse me for the lighting because I noticed that the lighting changes because of the outside light. We're in the summer, so we're at the mercy of the proper lighting. I'm at the mercy of proper lighting. All the products will be written in the descriptions. Don't worry about that. I do tag them as well, so because that helps me. Your subscribing helps me, your engagement helps me, and I love when you tell me where you're watching me from. So thank you for your time. I hope again that I've been able to help you for those special occasions or not. But thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you next week.